Hello again, all you spicy balls of meat. This is your boy, the Fleet Admiral Awesome. My Kingdom Foreign Empire, the official site of the Minecraft Imperial Challenge. I am up above the city of Avicena, my capital city. No, I'm not floating in creative mode. Well, it's not really cheating if you're trying to get camera angles. It's only cheating if you use creative mode to build things or to explore. You gotta go do that all in survivor mode, or else there's no challenge. Anyways, what we're doing today, we're building a swamp village. Why is that? Objective reasons. There are several objectives to this challenge, and this channel for that matter, and it's that I don't just want to build villages and fortify villages. That would be boring. Who would be bored? I can do that on my own time. I don't have to bother YouTube with that fodder. So I want to, each village, each new settlement I want to make more interesting than the last. Today we're doing a swamp village, because it's one of the easiest biomes to do right now. There's one nearby. I've already picked out a site. And we'll move on from there. The other objective of this channel is also, I started with a Nostradamus video, link up above, and then I want to do little history lessons of the philosophers and conquerors and kings and queens and emperors and empresses that all my settlements are named after. And there's no sense in having a settlement named after someone that if you don't really know about them. So we're going to be doing more of those 10 things you did not know about said rulers and whatnot. I've already gone ahead and gathered the materials I will need in these 3 chests right here, or it might just be in 2 chests. I don't know. One chest. Okay, yeah, this is just the railway depot default chest that has my minecarts in it and some buttons that I'll need to put here. But I've got it in these 2 chests. One's gonna go in a minecart chest, the other one's gonna go in my inventory, and the third amount of stuff is in my ender chest. This challenge is going to take several days to make, so you'll notice me changing my outfit quite a few times. Do not be concerned. It's not because I'm spilling milkshakes all over my outfit. It's because it's different days past. I'm going to pretend like it hasn't. Just roll with it. Roll with the punches. Play along, I guess. At all. But that's pretty paltry. But we're going to get as close as we can, and then just take it from there. By the way, today's episode is brought to you by Pink Lemonade, courtesy of Country Time. Today's beverage is pink lemonade. It's refreshing. It hits the spot. They're not paying me anything. They're not sponsoring me anything. I'm just a big fan and I'm drinking it. So enjoy watching. Maybe you can get some pink lemonade. Drink yours while watching this video. By the way, in watching these videos, you don't have to watch the whole thing from beginning to end. I understand if you get a little bit bored just watching me build things. I try to make them interesting as much as I can, but really just it's best if you put it in the background while you play Minecraft or whatever game you're doing. Or I don't know, studying. Maybe it's probably not a good study tool, but whatever. Here we go.
This is probably the most boring bit.
Alright, we're going to take a break from all this rail building, because we are about level to where the swamp starts, and we're going to go check it out. We are going to investigate, take a big jump. Oh, good thing I baked potatoes to make me feel better. Ooh, look at this. There's a lot of good stuff in there. Cool. Okay, Boethius is right there. So we're going to want to kind of avoid it a little bit. We're not going to want to get it too close, because we don't want them to expand and merge. Plus we want to just, build some space. Oh my goodness, is that bees? That's insane. Why is there bees over here? This place all this swamp emerged. This swamp spawned way before the 1.15 update. Before the 1.13 update. There should not be any bees in this swamp. Get out my swamp, bees! Get out my swamp! Ooh, that's a terrible impersonation. Oh, it'll do. I find the perfect spot. We want a nice shallow spot. That would make the most sense. Maybe a little island in the swamp, though. Easy to fortify, also easy to build upon, but also so that we can have some shallow water area. It's kind of like a thoroughfare for the villagers to congregate. A thoroughfare to congregate. Oh, joy! Step right there and step on. Swamp, get out my swamp. Oh, I've lost my bearings a little bit just wandering around the swamp. It's like that scene from Lord of the Rings where Gollum is leading the hobbits through the swamp. And it's oh, what's this? Oh, nothing. And they just do it for days, and they're just getting weary, and then Frodo's just looking at the faces in the water, the dead faces, which I thought was a body at first, but a body would rot. This is it. This is the spot right here. Look at the lights, precious. Don't look at. Oh, that was terrible. I apologize to everyone I've ever loved and known for that. Witch's hut. Hey, right there. Let's build it right by the witch's hut. Otherwise, the video is gonna be a two-parter. The first part is gonna be mostly establishing it and building the first few buildings, and the second one, that's when I'm gonna give you the history lesson. Once we decide on who to name this village after. It must be really close to Agamemnon too, I'm guessing, or at least Menelaus. I forget which one, but maybe both. I mean, they're close to each other, so yeah, there we go. We're closer to both. This is going to be the foundation of the location of the new swamp village, of which name I haven't decided on. I think we're on the letter H. Look at it now in all of its natural wonder and beauty, for its natural wonder and its natural beauty will not last. It is soon to be civilized.
It is night. It's dark out. It is hotter than hot trash. And yet we soldier on. The challenge lives.
Alright, the swamp village. Loaded up good stuff, a bunch of good stuff we're building right here. I'm gonna send it on its way to the new village. I'm gonna send myself on its way. I've got a full inventory as well. Now, right now, you're probably wondering, why do I have these side-by-side rails if they're heading in the same direction? Like, why can't I just use one rail straightforward with incremental stops where I can get off at each settlement? And, well, the answer is I do that in most places. You've seen that before. Other places, especially out of Elizabeth, Virginia, where I'll just have one main line with branches off it for settlements. But I want to make full use of my railway depot, and to do that, I want to have each single doorway leading to a different settlement. Because right now there's only like 4. There's 4 railways coming out of that thing. That's a wasted space. We want a different railway shooting on each one. And if some of them happen to be parallel for a little while, oh well. As you can see here, there's a little bit of a split. This way they diverge. This one on the right keeps going forward for like forever. Alright, I am here at the location. There's the tree right there. So this serves as the village settlement center. You can see the witch's hut way on the distance. I might make that my house. We'll see. I don't know. I think previously I had mentioned that I'm going to name this village Shrek after Shrek, and that was a fun idea for a while, but I don't think that's going to happen after all. I think I'm going to brainstorm a new name. Find a name of a historical character who's a bit swampy, more or less. I've got my heart set on a couple, and I'll narrow it down here in a bit. And I'm going to build all these stilts. I'm going to build all these buildings pretty much around this tree here, kind of in a circle around it, and then around that, I'm going to build a gravel pathway, sort of a concourse. So you got the central arena, so you kind of have a central plaza, and you have a ring of buildings, and then you have a ring of paths, and then there's going to be more buildings on the outside of that. So that's the idea of what we're rolling with. I'm going to go ahead and get the stilts out, basic idea of where I want the buildings and how they're to be shaped, I guess. At least the first set of them. Alright, here we go. So I've got the basic outline of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 buildings right here. They all have slightly different shapes and designs. Those are on stilts, but like this one here, I've decided to build just like a basic frame instead. And I'll have stairs leading up to that. Now it's a little bit elongated. Got a little one right there. We got a much bigger one over here that starts here and there, and it's going to have some contour to it. And then one just basic square shape right there. I got a building right there, and we got a few more coming. Put the bell there, as you noticed. I'm going to put a sign saying the village name, and as soon as, I figure out what the name is going to be. We're going to remove some more of these trees, remove some more of this clay, and just keep building. Alright, I am floating above this new settlement. I am in cumulative mode. Yes, I am. And that is okay, as I described in an early video. It is okay to use creative mode if you're only using it to film, to show things. I am not building anything. I'm not exploring. I am simply hovering above this village so that you can see the layout of it better. I've got all the stilts up, giving a basic idea of where the buildings are going to be, and kind of an idea of what the shape they are, and I've also surrounded them in sushi. Get off my lap, you fat cat. I surrounded them in gravel, which is the gravel path, intentionally not symmetrical. You know, I want to kind of look like it meanders, like it almost formed naturally. So, and I'm going to extend the path. It's going to wind. It's going to like meander around these trees and lead to this here witch's hut, so that can also be included in our village. My new glasses arrived. I'm on day 3 of working on this video. It's taking a lot longer than I expected. It is what it is. Don't worry about it. Some objectives for this round. Let's see here. I'm going to base the design of some of these buildings on previous designs by other YouTubers and Minecrafters because, well, I'm not really a tutorial maker. I don't do design tutorials. I rather use the designs created by experts. Am I an expert? Some might argue that. I don't think so, though. I think there's better ones out there. I'm going to do one house based on a design by Grian, one house based on a design by fwhip. I'm going to do a variation of each, and then I'm going to do another variation on the traditional witch's hut for this village. And that's the first 5 buildings I'm going to make, and a 6th one I'm going to create like a little hut for these ovens right here. A lot of people, when they make these swamp designs, they really don't take advantage of the blocks that spawn naturally, that being clay, okay? And I'm going to use a lot of brick for the roofs because honestly, people might not think of bricks when they think swamp. You know, they don't think bricks is swampy, but I certainly do because it's loaded with clay. It only makes sense to utilize the natural surroundings. Yeah, with all this clay in here, bricks are totes swamp. Deal with it, hashtag totes swamp. First of all, come up with a name. As I had stated previously, I considered the name Shrek. I decided against it eventually, but I wanted to pick a name of someone who might be associated with swamps, and I thought of the British colonial general. Well, was he a general? I don't know what his rank was, but he was a military leader by the name of Francis Marion, whom we all call Swamp Fox. So I wanted to name this settlement Swamp Fox, but that's a little too much on the nose. So instead, I'm going to name it Marion, after Francis Marion. We'll go ahead and put a sign up right there. Marion. I don't even know if that's visible, but put another torch there, so maybe make it more visible, but there we go, Marion. I might change it. These dark oak signs are really just not visible for any writing on top of it, but you know, whatever. I hate how long it takes for you to go to bed. It's like, I just gotta sit here and watch it because I don't want to wander off and do anything because I'm really not secure at all. I cannot risk getting blown up. As you can see here, a creeper blew up right there, blew up one of my chests, blew up the blocks. Now the water doesn't know what to do. Now I love Grian's designs, and I'll show you briefly the video I'm talking about, just a clip from it. I'm sure he won't mind. It's promotion after all. I can change it later if he does, but in this case I want to show you the idea of what I'm doing, and to do that I'll just roll a little clip here.
So this is the amount of space we've got, and then we need to create the hut around it, which shouldn't be too difficult because the Mojang houses, they are fairly simple. Now for the roof, I'm going to use dark oak wood, and I'm going to use the 6-sided one so that there's none of this part of it, there's none of the inside of the log, because I think that will look cleanest, but I don't know if Mojang would actually use that. I think this is basically the start of our houses. We just need to decorate them a tiny bit, so maybe a chimney, just a few blocks high. Definitely want to include some of the new stuff like lanterns. So maybe on the corner of every single one we have a little lantern plants. So maybe we'll add a fern there as well.
Now one thing Grian did with his designs was he used fencing as the stilts for these swamp buildings, which is clever design, but it looks too skinny, it looks too scrawny, it doesn't look like it's going to hold up the weight of the building. So I'm using straight up logs, boss. Like, when you put a big building like that on just some fencing, it looks like, I don't know, one of them Russian circus bears walking on stilts, or an elephant riding a unicycle, something big on top of something little. It doesn't look, it looks like it defies the laws of physics. I do not like defying the laws of physics, you know, except for when I'm building a cloud city or whatever. But, so I'm going to, you know, make some adjustments to his design using these logs instead. I'm going to build the basic house that he did in his 1.14 Swamp Village video. And that'll be the first time lapse. I'm going to do a few time lapses, and then I'm just going to kind of back up and just do the rest of it off camera, because you don't need to see me build all of it. That is time consuming, and And like I said, I'm not a tutorial maker. This is entertainment and instructional for when you do your own challenge, and hopefully I can give you some ideas, inspire you as I have been inspired, such as other artists like fwhip and Grian and some others that we'll get into.
As you know, the name of my empire is Gynecomastia, and this is the perfect time to explore some Gynecomastian lore. It's my belief the original settlers of Marion came from the settlement of Boethius, the desert village of Boethius, and they were in a huge drought and they didn't have any water, and so they marched north until they found the current place of Marion, the current location. And they thought it was perfect, and this is where they settled down and hunkered down, where water was plenty. Of course, as the climate grew warmer, water grew in abundance, and they got a little too wet, a little too swampy. And despite living in such a wet place, living in knee-deep water, they stayed there. They stubbornly stayed in their settlement, and they did not move on from there. They continued living on the crayfish and the langoustines and the bugs that lived in the swamp, and farmed the clay and built their buildings on stilts, and that is where they currently exist today. Despite all their hardships, Marion is their home. They are the people of the swamp, and they will not move for any reason save death and destruction. I don't know, large numbers, something like that. I don't know. Just go with it. Let's just go with it. I'm using acacia wood right now because I had a lot of scrap acacia wood in Avicenna, and I wanted to use it somewhere, and although it might not look very swampy particularly, I think the orange stands in contrast to the flat browns and greens.
One thing that I love about building in a swamp or above any other water is that you don't have to take the scaffolding all the way down. You can just, no fall damage. You can keep doing that. Also, because of that, we can just put stairs however we want. Usually when I put stairs for villagers, I make it like 2 blocks high and then like over, and then I'll put over a railing so they don't fall and take fall damage. Because when villagers take fall damage, they take too much of it, and they die, and you lose great trades they have. So we don't have to worry about that here. It's beautiful.
By the way, today's drink is purple drink. There was a drink earlier, but for you that may have been minutes ago. For me, that was 2 days ago. So this is a different drink. Might not be grape, but it's purple.
Alright, so I regret to inform you all that Creeper just blew up and it killed my poor horse. My poor horse Cardigan died right here in this spot. Very sad. Alright, we are done with the House of Grian's design. As you can see, it's not exactly how he did it. I used some acacia wood instead and some other small nuances that are a little bit different, but it's the basic general idea. Now we're going to do the one put forth by fwhip, which is the basic farmer's house. Now, he used a mixture of stone and cobblestone, but we're going to use a combination of dirt, cobblestone, and clay, because there's a lot of clay in the swamp area, and it only makes sense to use the natural ingredient.
Anyways, this first house here that we're working on is meant to be more of an experimentation house, so I want to slow this one down, really try and nail down what we're working on here. The idea with these is basically, instead of having them up on stilts, making it look like the people use this terrain and use the rocky terrain that they might have found on this island here to build their houses on top of those, so that they didn't have to worry about any flooding.
More Gynecomastian lore. The people of Gynecomastia, tired of their houses drowning in the swamp, would pile up the clay. They would get their shovels and they would pile up the clay in big mounds, and they would build their houses on top of that so that they would be waterproof and safe from the elements. Many people often ask, where do the Gynecomastians bury their dead? Of course, it's very impractical to bury your dead in the swamp, and so they have allocated space in the Badlands, not nearby, between here and Menelaus, or between here and Agamemnon. And as there, they dig holes in the dry terracotta, and they carry their dead in long and languid funeral processions that can last up to days, often several at a time. They'll hold bodies for 3 or 4 days. They prepare the tombs days ahead and escort the bodies to the dry place before they grow stale and rancid. There's much dancing and feasting and music playing and merrymaking of all sorts. And of course the ritualistic slaughter of a zombie to appease the gods in ritualistic sacrifice is a normal part of the procession. The inhabitants of Gynecomastia, especially Marion, cherish their loved ones and bury them with respect.
Alright, we are done with the little swamp farmer's house. As you can see, I used half slabs of dark oak for the roof, as opposed to I used full logs over there for that house. And I'm going to alternate between the two, as well as using brick, because there's no sense in not using brick, as we have such a large amount of this clay in this swamp. You can see here, the house juts out from a lot of this clay, and I've got one little kelp block there for decoration, because I thought it'd be cool if it just emerged out of the wet, sticky earth from whence it came, and I think it's a good look. I actually like it better than the stone that fwhip used, and that's okay. That's just a matter of taste. Our tastes differ. After this house, we are going to go ahead and work on the alternative witch's hut, as you could say, or the variation of the witch's hut. Alright, here we are at the witch's hut. I built a little stone slab stairway to get up there. Stone slab, did I say stone? Those look like stones to you? No, my son, those are bricks. We're just going to analyze it real quick so we can rebuild it over there. We're going to do it slightly differently, because we have slightly different materials, and we want it to look slightly different, because that's how variations work. It looks like it's basically a 5x5 structure. Is it 5x5? No, it's 5x6. It's a 5x6 structure with this little porch in front. Wood planks on top, surrounded by a wood staircase. Now here we have oak with spruce. We don't have any spruce. I really regret not having spruce, so we're going to use dark oak instead. Basically, we're going to do the same thing, only with a brick roof, and we're going to have like a side room that's of the same size. It's getting dark, so I better sleep. Put some torches on top to keep the bad guys at bay. This will be eventually included in the village once I get more gravel.
You often find witches in the swampier places of Gynecomastia. These witches were once normal villager inhabitants of Gynecomastia. But they grew apart from the crowd. They became outcasts and lived alone in huts in the swamp. And that is where they learned the dark arts, muddled in their depths of insanity and depravity. This is how witches became. And it is why they exist now. There's no hope for them any longer. There's no converting them back into villagers. And so they must be disposed of, just as every other dark beast of the land.
Alright, we're done with the modified witch's hut. I'm doing a little side-by-side comparison here. You can see the one on the right is the one that's over that way, and the one on the left is the one I just built. We've got wood slabs that lead up to the entrance, a little dark oak porch. I've got the main part is pretty standard right here. I went by Avicenna, by the way. Stopped by, grabbed me some vines for some delicate decoration, delicate decor. Got me a cauldron as well and some stone cutters. Well, we'll get to those another time. For the windows here, as you know, they're open on the standard witch's hut, but I didn't like it open, so I decided to put them closed. But rather than something permanently closed, got these trapdoors here they can open and shut. So the person who lives inside, probably a tanner, I'm guessing, can get some fresh air, let the bugs out when necessary. And of course, as I suggested I was going to do earlier, we got brick slabs as the roof. All right, that is our witch's hut. And that is our 3 buildings I said I would build. Yeah, they don't really gel together because they're using different materials, because they're all using scraps. You know, I'd scrap acacia, scrap birchwood and whatnot. But I mean, yeah, together they don't really fit that well, but when more buildings come in, they're gonna match each other. So hopefully we're gonna have a completed village here soon. It's gonna look pretty good. Now these little lights right here, the poles, the lamp posts, call them what you will. I'm not sure I like them. I might redesign them a little bit. And of course they're gonna have lanterns on top, because everyone who builds swamp villages on YouTube, you'll see, uses lanterns instead of torches. And I think we'll have a mixture of both. But I can't wait to get some lanterns, hang them from the roof. It'll look really good. I got some vines around here now. Little farm plot, how nice. Alright, that's my village. When I come back, when you see me again, in a few seconds, we'll have a mostly completed village.
We're mostly done with this swamp village. I'm just waiting on this zombie villager to heal, so we can have a second villager. I brought one in from Avicenna. He's sleeping in there in his farmer's house. He is the farmer. Oh God, skeleton! Oh, get out of here! Knock it off! Knock it off! All right, as you can see, I have completed the track from Avicenna to the new swamp village of Marion. We follow all the way up, and I used this track to recently relocate a villager. And as you can see, the swamp village is pretty much complete, all but one building. That one building being that necessary library we need. There was a recent addition to the rules that every settlement needs a library to be officially declared a settlement. So they need to be fortified, as you can see it is, connected by rail, as you can see it is, and a library, as you can see, is just really a block of stilts. But otherwise, this is a complete village, and it is beautiful, and I will take you on a tour of it right now. Now, I use creative mode to get you some nice camera angles for the video, but as you know, if you use it to explore or build anything, you are cheating and going against the fabric of the challenge, so please do avoid that. Here we are in the depot. It's pretty simple right now. It's just got the rail that goes to Avicenna, and I'm probably going to attach the rail to some of the surrounding buildings as well, or surrounding settlements as well, but we haven't got to that stage yet. That's one building. It's real simple, just mossy cobblestone and mostly regular cobblestone, simple spruce with fence, some vines hanging out for effect. That's a nice angle of it right there. Look at that vinage. Ooh. And here we have the mine entrance. For the roof, I used 3 different woods: dark oak, spruce, and oak, to have those like cascading effects where it goes from dark to light. I'm not sure how I feel about it, but it is completed, so we're not gonna worry about it anymore. The deep. Your mom's the deep. Wait. Then we have the portal building over here. I like this building. Now, it is just a simple square structure at heart, but what it lacks in design, it makes up for in embellishment. As you can see, it's a simple square, but by placing the ladder and fence, it gives it this nice sense of asymmetry, which is really the heart of this village. Asymmetry is really what I used as the main design feature in most of the buildings. I like symmetry, but I like to skew it up a little bit, and a swamp is a very askewy place. A screwy place, really. A lot of nice potted plants for decoration. Gravel path. It's not perfect in places. You can see patches of grass, patches of lily pad, garden path, you know, just to mix it up. Here we have stone cutters, the mason's station.
with pots for smelting. I think I have some, yep, got some mutton in there for nibbling. Simple structure, enclosed on 3 sides, open on the 4th. Of course, we have my house there. That's my favorite building. This is easily becoming one of my favorite villages. I gotta say, maybe even currently my favorite, simply because of its just beauty and aesthetic, and really just the approach I took in making. Some baddies tried to cause trouble. I said, no to that. Kept the banner as a prize. My bed, chest with a lot of materials. We did a little mining, and we got a good load of junk. You know, all these zombies I killed, a lot of zombie strikes, trying to get them zombie villagers. Now, I transported one villager over from Avicenna, as I said prior. He was a master farmer. He's over there in the meeting place right now with the others. But I didn't want to do more than one of those. So I really wanted to get that swamp villager skin. So I had to convert a zombie villager so that I could get at least one zombie, or at least one swamp villager, which I've been really craving in making this village. I hadn't seen that yet in a while because, well, there are no swamp villages. And there's another one who's a progeny of the first being the master mason there, and his progeny being the leather worker. Look at that. He got a mushroom in his pocket. You got a mushroom in your back pocket. You got a mushroom in your back pocket. Such a funny look. Speaking of mushrooms, we're going to wander over here to the mushroom house. Lovely design, love it. Got the jack-o'-lantern out front for design. Got a porch kind of like based on the witch's hut. I really like this, especially for the swamp village. I kind of regret using the dark oak though, because it almost looks like it'd be more appropriate in a roofed forest village. But nonetheless, it is built. There is no going back. I am not changing it at the last second. It's beautiful as it is. It belongs here. I don't care what you say. And there is no glass in this village, like, whatsoever, so, except under, like, other circumstances. So I've got, like, where I don't have fencing, I have trapdoors as the windows, and I think it's perfect for shutters. Here we have this little house here. It looks like it's almost symmetrical at first, but then you realize it's not. It's a little bit screwy. Okay, got the leather worker at sleep, at rest. Got a back door, of course, to hit the gravel path. And again, you'll see a lot of bricks and terracotta in this village, and that is because of all the natural clay reserves. A lot of people, like, when I see their swamp villagers, they don't use a lot of that brick or terracotta, and because, it seems like it's out of place. Especially the terracotta, you'd assume fit better in with a desert village. But with all that clay, it only makes sense that if they were to, build these naturally, they would use the natural elements at hand. However, not natural element is all the spruce wood you'll see here. But it is what it is. I planted spruce wood. I wanted to keep with that dark wood aesthetic without using too much dark oak. This house right here, that's a second stonecutter's house, mason house. It's got the main branch right here, but it's got a wing right there. And this is also based more or less, like, I used the terracotta as like a frame, like it almost wanted to be a desert house, but then I patched up with wood, kind of based on Grian's design pattern for his swamp villagers. Got a little puddle of water in the middle of the floor, the lily pad, and I like how this is all fenced out so you can see him at work, but all the humidity of the swamp doesn't affect him because he's got a nice breeze coming in and out there. He's not stifled. You got sleeping quarters, working quarters. Although that's not him working over there. That's a different mason, I guess. It's funny how it works that way. I tried to separate the houses between sleeping houses and working houses, but I didn't have the bed space for all the villagers I want here. So some of them have doubled up beds and workstations. Okay, over here I've got the fishing hut. This is based on fwhip, and I realize a lot of, I call him fwhip, but it's really fwhip. Call him what you will, but he's got some really nice designs, and this is kind of loosely based on his fishing hut, as I did with the farmer's hut. Same design, same video really, and I'll put a link to that in the description. He uses stone though. He builds his buildings on the stone encroachments that burst out of the earth, but I wanted to use clay instead, with the odd terracotta and like leaves, because they're born to fish. Got a little barrel here, got a little steps going down here, got a little fishing pond, a little boat. I mean, it's just wading depth. I made sure when I farmed all the clay in this village that, well, except this patch right here might be an exception. I made sure to replace it with dirt or cobblestone so that the villagers don't drown. And I don't want to spawn any drowns either. Got a lot of these torches around here, but I do plan on replacing them with lanterns. Another option is I have here is put a torch down there in a hole and covered in glass. That looks good and it illuminates the water above. I think that's a nice look. Of course, this house right here, there's the house we built earlier based on Grian's design. And I used, like a lot of these design features on the other houses I built, so that they do gel, so that they do kind of match together, especially my house there, except of course my tower sticking out there. That's based on a desert village house. Overall, like I said, I love this village very much. I like the design features. Tell me what you think in the comments about my design features, what I ought to add, what I ought to remove. But I'll take your advice, with a pinch of salt. I don't plan on removing anything in this village. I think it looks great. I love the way this gravel path winds, and as I said, it winds all the way around over here to this here witch's hut that spawned naturally. And I even got a bed in there. I don't really see any villagers actually coming way out here for snooze, but they do have that option. I did want to incorporate this into the village because it's a natural spawn feature. Heck, I'll take a snooze myself. It is a natural spawn feature, and I would have felt bad just leaving it out of the village, even though it's kind of set apart. And it's probably from here that I'm going to build my cobblestone road to the neighboring settlements. Almost in a direct straight line. You got Gilgamesh, the birch oak village in that direction. Birch oak, yeah, that's a thing. That's a type of tree, birch oak. Birch forest village that way. They got killed by the cataclysm, but we plan to rebuild it in a future video. Directly that way, we got Menelaus in the Badlands biome that you can kind of see just barely through the trees there. Get out of here, Zombo. We don't need your kind around here. And then kind of diagonal from here, we got Agamemnon, the other Badlands village we have. And they're all within the range of like 300 to 500 blocks. So they're all real close. And I think between them, I'm going to build a watchtower and or way station. The watchtower and way station being the two most recent features we added to the Double or Nothing challenge, which is the 2-year challenge. But you can also encourage them the 1-year challenge if you're just starting out on your own empire. So those are probably the next few videos we're making, the watchtower and the way station. And we've got space to do it and perfect land and all the materials we have. Up here we got lots of bricks. Our little, I don't know where he is right now, but our mason we got here, because he was a zombie villager, his trades are really cheap. For 4 pieces of clay, there he is. 4 pieces of clay, we can get an emerald. And with 1 emerald, you can get 10 bricks. That's a steal, literally. I mean, and there's no coal wasted in the process. And, I've already taken advantage of getting, a whole bunch of these chiseled stone bricks, too. And of course he's got some magenta terracotta and black terracotta, and I plan on exploiting those materials too when we build our what have you, what do you call it? The way station. That's right, the way station. I got a campfire right here and some cobblestone wall. I'm going to go ahead and build a chimney on this building right here. It only makes sense with all these smelting pots. If I can find a spot, find a block that I could stick my scaffolding on, that is. Right here. Yeah, that's a good spot. What the heck? Oh, that's his leafy hat. I thought that was a creeper. Yeah, I'm not so sure about the leafy hats. There we go. That looks like a pretty good chimney if you ask me. Yeah, oh, looking at it this way, it looks really obvious, but I'll just kind of cover it up there for posterity's sake. There we go, that's a nice feature. A nice touch. Alright, thanks for tuning in to this video, this really long video about this latest swamp village that's up to 50 buildings now. The next video will take place here in Marion as well as we build our library, and I will teach you, it'll be another history lesson video, 10 things you did not know about the Swamp Fox Ranger General being Francis Marion. In the meantime, like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell for God's sake, because, if you subscribe, it doesn't mean anything if you don't actually watch the videos. I've been your Fleet Admiral Awesome, Captain at the helm. That's right, Admiral and Captain, why not? Dual roles, dual officerships. And stay spicy.